Now, 10th problem. A swimmer swims. 10th problem. Actually, it is exercise. It is exercise 7. Exercise 7. Level 2. Exercise 7, level 2, page number 94. Problem number 10th problem. You listen the problem carefully. A swimmer swims in still water at a speed of 5 km per hour. A swimmer swims in still water at a speed of 5 km per hour means that is the speed of the man with respect to river, or speed of the river swimmer with respect to river. So speed of the man with respect to river, VMR, is equal to 5 km per hour given. 5 km per hour. He enters a 200-meter wide river he entered a river 200-meter wide having river flow 4 km per hour. That means river flow means speed of the river or water in the river is 4 km per hour. kmph or kilometer per hour. We can write anyone anyway. At a point A and proceeds to swim at an angle 127 degree with the river flow direction. So here from the point A, the man swims with respect to river with a velocity 5 km per hour and the river is flowing with a velocity VR. Then he swims along the direction 127 degree from the direction of the river flow. River flow is in this direction. So from this point, from the river flow at 127 degree means this is 127. That means it is 90. So remaining is 37 now. So with the shortest path, the man swims at an angle 37 degree with the shortest path with a velocity VMR. VMR is equal to this one. Okay. Another point B is located directly across A on the other side. On the other side of the river, exactly opposite, another point B is located. Now the swimmer lands on the other bank at the point C, from which he walks the distance CB with a speed 3 km per hour. The total time in minutes in which he reaches from A to B. Okay. Here, excuse me. You see, here whenever the man swims in this direction by making 37 degree angle, by making 37 degree angle with shortest path. Okay. Here along this direction, there is a velocity of man with respect to river is there. Okay. That means simultaneously on the man, two velocities are there. One velocity of the river acts in this direction, VMR acts in this direction. The resultant of these two may be along this direction or may not be, or may be along this direction. In which direction it lies, we have to check. Okay, here you resolve this VMR into components. One component in this direction, that is VMR sine theta, no? VMR sine 37. And this component is VMR cos 37. Cos 37. You see what is VMR sine theta? VMR sine 37 is equal to VMR means 5 into sine 37 means 3 by 5. That is equal to 3 km per hour. So in this direction, velocity of the man with respect to river is this one, and velocity of the river is already 4. Velocity of the river is already 4 km per hour. That means on the man along the direction of river flow, there are two velocities. One is VMR sine 37 in this direction, VR in this direction. So what is the resultant velocity in this direction? What is the resultant? Definitely VR greater than VMR sine theta. That's why resultant velocity is in this direction only. So resultant velocity in this direction is there, and VMR cos 37 is there in this direction. So the resultant of these two is along this direction. And finally, the man reaches the point C on the other bank. After reaching the point here, then the man come back by walking and reach the point B. So here they asked what is the total time taken. They asked total time taken is how much. So in this case, this is the diagram. Okay. Now tell me what is the what is the time taken by the man to reach the other bank? Suppose time taken by the man to travel from this point to this point is T1 and this point to this point is T2. Therefore, total time is equal to T1 plus T2 they asked. So how we can find T1 first? T1 is equal to width of the river is given now. Width of the river D is equal to 200 meter given. Width of the river is given as 200 meter. Is audio and video are clear or not to you? Come on, you respond, all of you. Audio and video are clear to you or not? Both are okay. I think Shiv Balaji, you check your system. Okay, right. Okay, T1. T1 is the time taken by the river boat man to cross the river just. Width of the river is in this direction. Parallel to width of the river, what is the velocity of the man? That is VMR cos 37. Therefore, width of the river D by parallel to the width of the river, the velocity of the man is equal to this one. That's why VMR cos 37. This is the time taken by the man to cross the river, which is equal to D means 200 meter. It is in meter. Okay, this data given is in SI system. Answer is given in hours. That's why you write this also in kilometers. This is equal to 0.2 kilometer we can write now. Because to convert meter into kilometer, we have to divide with 1000. So you'll get 0.2. That's why 0.200 by VMR. VMR is 5. Cos 37. 4 by 5. So 5 cancel. Therefore, T1 is equal to 0.2 by 4. That is equal to 0.05 hours. No, 0.05 hours. It is the time taken by the a man to cross the river. Time taken by the man to cross the river is this one. Okay. Next, here through what distance the man come back? Through what distance the man come back in this direction? Okay, that is the drift of the man. No, drift x. Say this is. So what is the drift value? How we can find the drift along the direction of the river flow? What is the resultant velocity of the man? Along the direction of the river flow, what is the resultant velocity of the man? Tell me, what is the along the direction of river flow? What is the resultant velocity of the man? On the man along this direction, VR acts, opposite direction VMR sin 37 acts. So along this direction, resultant velocity is VR minus VMR sin 37. No, this is the resultant velocity of the man in this direction. So in this direction, the resultant velocity is this one. In this direction, VMR cos 37. The resultant of this VMR cos 37 and VR minus this one. The resultant of this and this that acts along this direction, so that the man travel along this direction and reaches the other bank at the point C. That's why there is some drift because of this velocity. Okay, so drift x is equal to in this direction. In the time taken by the man to cross the river up to this one, that in the time T1, the man travel in the direction of river flow through a distance x because of this resultant velocity in this direction. That's why resultant velocity into time taken by the man to cross the river T1. So VR means 4 minus VMR means 5 into sin 37 3 by 5 into T1, that means 0.05 hours. Here it is in hours, these are in kilometer per hour. That's why you will get answer in kilometer. Okay, therefore x is equal to, it is 1 no, that means 0.05 kilometer. It is the drift. That means actually he has to reach the point B, but because of drift here he reached the another point C. Then through what distance drift is there to come back to B, what the distance equivalent to drift, he has to travel in this towards B from C. So to travel from C to B by the man on the bank, just by walking only from C to B he has to travel. Okay, what is your doubt? Gupta, what is your doubt? Tell me. Gupta. T into VBR by, here you see T into D by VBR. That is the case whenever you swim along the direction perpendicular to the direction of river flow like this. That is the shortest time. That is the case of shortest time. It is not shortest time case. Okay. Okay, Gupta, I will unmute you. Okay, Gupta, you speak. Gupta, what is your doubt?
X drift also find by VR by VMR cos 37 equal to D by X. No?
No. Already here, whenever the man swims perpendicular to the direction of the river flow, in that case, we got that formula.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but here the man travel upstream. The man travel with this velocity upstream, but because of river flow, because of resultant velocity in this direction, in that case, whenever the man travel in this direction, there is no component of this velocity along this direction. VMR cos 90 is 0. That's why only VR velocity is there in this direction. So to find the drift here, x is equal to VR into t, we have written. In that case, that is a case of shortest time to cross the river. Okay, but in this case, the man travel upstream. That's why their velocity component also lies in this direction. Hence, resultant velocity in this direction, VR minus VMR sin theta, sin 37. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Right now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. Right. Trivit. Already here I clarified to him. So whenever the man travel along to cross the river along the shortest in a shortest time, the man has to move in a direction perpendicular to the direction of river flow. That means in this direction. In such case, whatever the formula we got, that is the formula, but not in this case. Okay. Trivid, you respond. Are you clarified this doubt? Okay. Right. Now, to travel from C to B, what is the time taken? That is T2. T2 is equal to distance traveled from C to B is the drift x by speed of the man. What is the velocity of the man? Speed of the man is given or not? Okay. From which he walks the distance CB with a speed 3 km/h. Okay. Speed of the man. Speed of man is say Vm. Therefore, drift means 0.05 kilometer by speed of the man is 3 kilometer. That is given. Speed of the man Vm is equal to 3 km/h. Okay. So therefore, this is the time. Now total time taken to reach the point B is equal to T1 plus T2. Initially I said T1 means 0.05 plus T2 means 0.05 by 3. Therefore, when you take LCM 0.15 plus 0.05 by 3, that is equal to 0.20 by 3. It is the T value, that is hours, 0.2 by 3 hours. In minutes they asked. So here this is hours. Therefore in minutes they asked 0.2 by 3 into 60 minutes. 320s are. Therefore T is equal to 4 minutes. No, when you multiply them you will get 4. No, so 4 minutes. This is the answer. It's a very important problem. Yeah, fourth problem. Okay, no doubt. It's a very important problem. Next also important. Next problem is also important, 11th one. Okay, next one. To a 11th one. To a man running upwards on a hill, the rain appears to fall vertically downwards with a speed. So based on this concept, you can do that 12th problem. So 11th problem. To a man running upward on a hill, The rain appears to fall vertically downwards with a speed 4 meter per second. The velocity vector of the man with respect to the earth is 2i cap plus 3j cap meter per second. If the man starting running down the hill means generally hill is along the inclined plane, like inclined surface, it is like this, it is the hill. One man running upwards like this. The man, velocity of the man. Okay, here when the man running upwards like this, to a man running upwards to the hill, the rain appears to be fall vertically downwards. Okay, here you see man is running in this direction, velocity of the man is in this direction, rain appears to be falling vertically downwards. So it is the velocity of the rain with respect to man, that is vertically upwards. Here you see, to a man running upward on the hill, the rain appears to fall vertically downwards. Appears to fall means that is the relative velocity of rain with respect to man, that is vertically downwards. Okay, with a speed 4 meter per second. That means relative velocity of rain with respect to man is given as 4 meter per second. The velocity vector of the man with respect to earth. Velocity of the man with respect to earth, Vm is equal to, Vm bar is given. Vm bar is equal to 2i cap plus 3j cap is given. Velocity of the rain with respect to man, Vrm bar is equal to, as it is vertically downwards direction, then we can write minus 4j cap. Okay, now what is the velocity of the rain? Velocity of the rain we can calculate now. So what is the relation? Vrm bar is equal to Vr bar minus Vm bar, no? That implies Vr bar is equal to Vrm bar plus Vm bar. So therefore Vr bar is equal to, Vrm bar means minus 4j cap plus Vm bar means 2i cap plus 3j cap. Therefore Vr bar is equal to 2i plus 3j, sorry, 2i plus 3j minus 4j means minus j cap. It is the velocity, actual velocity of the river. But here they didn't ask that one. From this information, we got the actual velocity of the river. If the man starting running downwards with the same speed, the relative speed of the rain with respect to man. Okay, next. Here, if the man running down with the same speed, you see, when the man running upwards, the horizontal component is this one, vertical component is this one. Okay, horizontal component is positive, vertical component is positive. That's why both are positive. When the man running down on the same inclined surface, in this case, velocity of the man now downwards. Okay, or you say it is Vm dash. So how we can write Vm dash in vector form? In this case, vertical component is like this, horizontal component is like this. That means both are along negative y-axis and negative x-axis components are there, no? That's why same components but along negative direction, because whenever the man running down on the same hill, he running down with the same speed, he running down. As the angle of inclination is same, definitely components of this velocity in this direction, they are same, but they are in reverse direction. Previously, vertical component is upwards, but here now downwards. Previously, horizontal component is towards right, now it is leftwards. That's why value is same, formula is same only, but minus we have tried. So minus 2i cap minus 3j cap. It is the velocity of the man. Velocity of the rain does not change, you know. With what velocity, whatever the velocity, wherever the man, in which direction the man goes, the actual velocity of the rain does not change. Okay, that's why actual velocity of the rain, Vr is equal to this only we got, that is equal to 2i minus j cap. So in this case, it is a dash. In this case, what is the velocity of the rain with respect to man? In second case, that is question mark. Okay. What is Rishidhar? What is your doubt? Okay, now based on this concept you do. Here based on this concept, there are two inclined surfaces. Then based on this concept you can do Rishidhar. Okay. Now Vrm dash bar is equal to Vr bar minus Vm dash bar. Vr bar means 2i cap minus j cap, minus of Vm dash bar means minus 2i cap minus 3j cap. Okay, 2i cap minus plus 2i cap. That means 4i cap minus j cap minus plus 3j cap means plus 2j cap. 4i cap plus 2j cap is the velocity of the rain with respect to man in second case. Okay. So VRM dash bar is equal to this one. In this way, we have to do option A. Yeah. In this ninth problem, you do 12th problem, same case, but velocities are different. Okay. So combination of these two given there, but velocities are different. Same concept. You do. Next. 8th problem you do. In this, already assignment is there with you. So 18th problem you do. Next 19th. 18th problem, 19th problem you do. Okay. Next. Next problem. Okay. Next problem. In practice sheet, in practice sheet, exercise 7, level 1, page number 113. Problem number 3, I want to say. 2 cars, 1 and 2. In these remaining problems you have to do. Okay. Page number 113. Page number 113. Page number 95. In 95, just you have to do 18 and 19. In page number 95, you do 18 and 19th problems. Okay, Varshit Reddy. In page number 95, just you do 18th problem and 19th problem. Okay. Next. In page number 113, okay, in page number 113, first problem, second problem you do, third problem I am telling. 2 cars 1 and 2 starts from rest are moving with the same speed V1 and V2 meter per second. 2 cars 1 and 2 starts from the same point. Starts from the same point from rest are moving with speeds V1 and V2. Car 2 is ahead of the car 1 by S meter. When the driver of car 1 sees the car 2, what is the minimum retardation should be given to the car 1? Avoid collision. Okay. Here car 1 travel with a speed V1 constantly. Car 2 travel with a velocity V2, but V2 less than V1. The condition is given V1 greater than V2. That means car 2 travel starts motion with smaller velocity. Car 1 travel with more velocity. Okay. But the second car 2 is ahead of the car 1 by S meter. Okay, sorry. Car 2 is ahead of the car 1. Car 2 is ahead of the car 1 by a distance S. So this distance is given S. Okay, definitely as the velocity of this first car is greater than velocity of the second car, definitely this car overtake this one. But there is no chance to overtake on the single road only, that is single way only. Only one car can travel. That's why here whenever this car travel with a velocity V1, then whenever he approaches this one, definitely he has to apply the brakes to avoid collision with the car 2. Okay, that's why he has to apply the brakes. He has to apply the brakes. With what retardation car 1 has to travel? what is the minimum retardation should be given to the car 1 to avoid collision? Minimum retardation means whenever car 1 sees the car 2 at a distance s in front of him, then he applies the brakes. Then the car travel with the deceleration, and just before it reaches the car 2, nearer to the car 2, at least the velocity of this car 1 must be reduced to v2, because the velocity of this one decreased to v2. Then both are having same velocity, so that both travel with the same speed like this. For any length of time, there is no further collision. That's why to minimum retardation they asked. For minimum retardation, at least the velocity of the car 1 before it reaches the car 2, its velocity must become velocity of the car 2 to avoid collision. So for minimum retardation, to avoid collision, the velocity of 1 becomes v2 before reaches second car. That is the case. So here initial velocity concept we have to relative velocity concept we have to introduce. Here initial relative velocity of car 1 with respect to car 2 is equal to v1 minus v2, because both are in the same direction only. Velocity of the car 1 with respect to car 2 is equal to velocity of the 1 minus velocity of 2. Okay. Next, relative acceleration of car 1 with respect to 2 is equal to a1 minus a2. That is equal to velocity of the car 1 is a1 minus velocity of the car 2. Here this car 2 does not apply any brakes. It travels with constant velocity only. That's why 0. So acceleration is equal to retardation. No? Of course, we have to get a1. Is it retardation or acceleration? We will get in the answer. Okay, next, relative displacement is equal to, here to avoid collision, minimum the velocity of this car becomes v2 before it reaches the car 2. That's why relative displacement of car 1 with respect to car 2, as with respect to car 2 we are finding relative displacement of car 1 with respect to car 2 means car 2 can be imagined to be at rest here. To avoid collision, the car 1 can travel up to a distance yes, it should not be greater than yes. That's why minimum distance to be traveled, the maximum distance to be traveled to avoid collision is equal to yes. Next, relative final velocity of the car 1 with respect to car 2. Here v1 minus v2. v1 minus v2 means here final velocity of the car v1 must be v2 before it reaches the point. No, that's why final velocity of the car 1 is v2 minus velocity of the car 2 is v2 only. That's equal to 0. Then both acquires the same velocity, so that they travel with the same velocity in forward direction, so that after any length of time there is no question of collision. Okay. Yeah, I will send PDF. Okay. Now what is the relation among them? From v square minus u square is equal to 2as. V square means, you see, v square means 0 minus u square means v1 minus v2 whole square is equal to 2 into a means we have to find a1 into s means s only. So a1 is equal to minus v1 minus v2 whole square by 2s. No, here minus sign represents retardation. Therefore, retardation of the car 1, retardation a1 is equal to, retardation itself represent minus sign. You should not put again minus. So v1 minus v2 whole square by 2s. It is very, very important. Previously asked in mains. Okay. In this last problem, okay, one more problem is there, right? Here in this fifth problem. Okay. Yeah, fourth option is the answer. Next, fifth problem. Fifth or fourth problem, anyone we can. Of course, fourth problem we can do. Fifth problem. Shall I explain fourth problem? No need. Shall I explain fourth problem or no need? Yesterday, I think somebody else asked me. Okay, I will discuss fourth problem also. Fourth problem first. A body moving with a speed of 10 meters per second due north takes a left turn. Here one body north, south, east, west like that. No, that's why it represents the directions first. North, south, east, west. A body moving with a speed of 10 meters per second due north. That means one body moving towards north. Due north means towards north. With a speed v1 is equal to 10 meters per second. Due north. And takes a left turn through 60 degree. Left turn. Here it travel towards north and it takes a left turn. Left turn means left side. That means in this direction. Through 60 degree. This angle is 60 degree. And continues at the same speed. Same speed, that means 10 meters per second only, but as the direction of velocity changes, then this is a new velocity 10 meters per second in this direction, 10 meters per second. What is the change in velocity? Change in velocity, as initial velocity, final velocity, both are in different directions. You write in vector form. Change in velocity is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity. It is general formula. As the initial velocity, final velocity, both are in different directions. To find the change in velocity, you have to write change in velocity in vector form. V2 bar minus V1 bar. Now you write in vector form. So you take this as y-axis, this as x-axis. Now you tell me the component of this one in this direction is V2 sin 60. It is V2 cos 60. Okay, now V2 bar means this one. V2 sin 60 is the x component, that is negative x direction. That's why minus V2 sin 60 into I cap, and V2 cos 60 is along positive axis. That's why plus V2 cos 60 J cap. It is V2 bar minus V1 bar. V1 bar is only along north. That means towards north. That's why V1 into J cap you write. That's all. Now you substitute the data. Minus V2 means 10. 10 sin 60 root 3 by 2 plus okay, plus V2 means 10 into cos 60 means 1 by 2 into J cap minus V1 means 10 J cap. So this is equal to minus 5 root 3. Sorry, here I cap no. Minus 5 root 3 I cap plus 5 J cap minus 10 J cap. Therefore, delta V bar is equal to delta V bar. That means change in velocity is equal to, here you see, minus 5 root 3 I cap plus 5 J cap minus 10 J cap means minus 5 J cap. Here, in which direction this change in velocity lies, you tell me? X component negative, Y component negative. Suppose this is north, it is south, east, west. X negative, Y negative means that change in velocity vector lies in this direction, no? Delta V bar. Change in velocity is in this direction. Delta V bar is in this direction. At what angle? Suppose this velocity, change in velocity vector makes an angle theta with x-axis, negative x-axis. Then you take tan theta. Tan theta is equal to y by x. Y means y component minus 5 by x means minus 5 root 3. That is equal to 1 by root 3 now. 1 by root 3 means theta is equal to 37 degree now. Theta is equal to 37, sorry, not 37, 30. Theta is equal to 30 degree now. Theta is equal to 30 degree. Okay. Theta is equal to 30 degree. So, which problem it is? Fourth problem. Okay, 30 degree is the answer. Here in the option, actually how we can write 30 degree? So how we can write the answer? The change in velocity is along the direction 30 degree north of west. That means from west towards north, because from west towards north it makes an angle 30 degree. That's why here change in velocity vector is towards, change in velocity is at an angle 30 degree north of west. That means from west towards north. That is the meaning. North of west. North of west. That is the answer. But in options, that answer is not there. Here, no, both are, sorry, both are negative, no? Both are negative. Here both are negative. No, minus minus means that is in fourth quadrant. You will get. So both are negative means you will get not this one. Because in second quadrant x is negative, y positive, but here both are negative. No, that's why it is north, south, east, west. Here that delta v bar lies in this direction, and this angle is theta say. Then we got tan theta is equal to y by x. Y means 5. Of course, same you will get 5 by 5 root 3. That is equal to 1 by root 3. So theta is equal to 30 degree. That means here, what is the direction of this one means? Change in velocity is at an angle 30 degree south of west. That means south of west means from west towards south at an angle 30 degree, the change in velocity direction lies. Okay, that is answer. Is it there or not? You check. It is not there. It is not there. Now, if it is 30, this becomes 60, no? Then, or in other words, delta V bar is at an angle. How we can write this one? Tell me. At an angle 60 degree. Now you tell me. At an angle 60 degree. How we can write? The same can be represented at an angle 60 degree from south of west or west of south. South of west means from west towards south. West of south means from south towards west. That means west of south. 30 degree means south of west, but 60 degree means this angle. That's why that can be written as west of south. Okay. So you see the answer. Which option is correct? What is that magnitude of resultant velocity? That magnitude is also asked. Delta V is equal to square root of this square plus this square. 5 root 3 whole square plus 5 square. That is equal to, it is 25, it is 7500 means 10 meter per second. So change in velocity is 10 meter per second. 60 degree west of south or 30 degree south of west. Any one of these is the answer. Which one is given? 10 meter per second, 60 degree west of south. Option C is correct now. Option C is correct. 10 meter per second at an angle 60 degree west of south. Third option is correct. So similarly, you can do the fifth problem. Okay. Next, I want to explain one more point, one more problem. Yeah, 14th problem. 14th problem I want to explain. Remaining problems we have to do. Shall I erase this one? Shall I erase that one? Okay, next 14th problem. Yesterday, I think Varshid Reddy asked me the doubts. Yesterday, Varshid Reddy asked me. Okay, right. 14th problem. The velocity of a motorboat with respect to still water is 7 meters per second. Velocity of the motorboat means boat with respect to still water. That means with respect to river. Velocity of the boat with respect to river is given as 7 meters per second. And velocity of the river is 3 meters per second. That means velocity of the river VR is equal to 3 meters per second. When the boat starts moving upstream, a float was dropped from it. Suppose the river is flowing with a velocity VR is equal to 3 in this direction. But when boat travel upstream, suppose the boat travel from the point A, upstream means in this direction. The boat travel upstream with a velocity VBR in this direction. At the instant whenever the boat is at this point, a float dropped, a float falls on the surface of the water from the ship. From the ship, a float drops. That means from the ship, a body which can be floated over the surface of the water fall from the ship. Okay. Now the boat travels 4.2 kilometer upstream and then returns and reaches the float. Here the boat travel like this, and whenever the boat is at the point A, whenever boat is moving with a velocity VBR, that means velocity of the boat with respect to river VBR, the boat travel with this speed opposite to the direction of the river flow, that means upstream. And whenever it is say at the point a float is dropped, that means the body which can be floated over the surface of the water is dropped. Then after that it continues to travel in this direction, and after reaches certain point B in their path, again they takes a turn to catch this dropped body. Okay, but as it is floating on the surface of the water, it is pushed in the direction of river flow with a velocity VR, no, that speed travel in this direction. And this boat with respect to river travel upstream, and after reaching the point B, immediately they turn back, and to catch the float they travel up to the point C, and they catches the float. So what is the here float travel through this distance and boat travel through this distance to catch the float. Now here they asked the time taken by the boat to catch the float. Time taken by the boat to catch the float is equal to, you see, after float dropped, then the boat travel from this point and from this point and like this and reaches this one. This total time taken is set T. Here, so in this total time taken by the boat to travel and come back to sea, the float to travel in the same time the float travel from this point to this point. Okay, that's why time taken by the boat to travel from this point to this point is T. Float to travel from this point to this point also time taken is T. In that time T, what is the distance traveled by the float? Float travel with a velocity VR only, no, because the float is pushed by the water only. That's why with what velocity water travel, with the same velocity float travel from A to C. That's why with that velocity of the river, the flow to travel a distance VR into T in a time T seconds before reaches the point C. But in the same time, the boat travel this much distance. Okay. Now in this total time T, time taken by the boat to travel from A to B is there, that is TAB. Time taken by the boat to travel from B to C is also there, so TBC. This total time. Okay. Are you agree this one? Are you understood this one? If you understood, I can go ahead now. If you understood this one, I can go ahead after this. Okay, responding chat box. Okay, right. You see here, whenever the float falls from the ship travel upstream through a distance. Through what distance the boat travel? 4.2 kilometer. So from A to B, the distance is 4.2 kilometer. Okay. Now T is equal to T. We had to find here. The question is T. T is equal to question mark. T you keep like this only. TAB. What is the time taken by the ship or boat to travel from A to B through a distance? This one. That means distance by speed gives distance by speed of the boat gives time taken, no? To travel from this point to this point, they travel upstream. To travel this much distance means, as velocities are given in meter per second, you convert this also into meter. 4.2 kilometer means 4200 meter, no? By what is the velocity of the boat in this direction? As it travel in upstream, the net velocity of the boat is equal to VBR minus VR, no? Because VBR in this direction, VR in opposite direction. That's why resultant velocity of the boat in this direction is equal to VBR minus VR plus TBC means time taken by the boat to travel from this point to this point. What is the total distance traveled from B to C? That is equal to 4.2 plus VRT, no? 4.2 means 4200 meter plus VRT. It is the distance to be traveled by the boat from B to C by distance by speed in this direction. When the boat travel in this direction, it travel downstream. In downstream, velocity of the boat is equal to velocity of the boat with respect to river plus velocity of the river. Already I said T is equal to D by VBR minus VR plus D by VBR plus VR. I said that formula. Okay, now here you substitute the data. 4200 by VBR minus VR. 7 minus 3 means 4 plus 4200 plus VR 3 into T by VBR plus VR means 10. So from this you calculate T value. If we simplify them, you will get T value in minutes they given. In minutes they given. What is the answer, Varshid Reddy, you got? Varshid Reddy, what is the answer you got? 35, yeah, 35 minutes. Actually, you will get 35 into 60 seconds you will get. This is the value you will get. Answer is given in minutes. That's why 35 into 60. To convert seconds into minutes, but we have to divide with 60. That's why you will in minutes you will get. So T is equal to 35 minutes. You will get exactly. You will get 35 minutes exactly. Okay. Okay, in this last problem, th problem. th problem. I think in concepts I said it is raining vertically downwards. By how many times that a person should increase his velocity in order to change his umbrella position from an angle 30 degree to 60 degree. Okay. So here it is raining vertically downwards. That means actual velocity of the rain is vertically downwards. It is raining vertically downwards means actual velocity of the rain is given vertically downwards. Okay. By how many times that a person should increase his velocity in order to change his umbrella position from 30 degree with vertical to 60 degree with vertical. Okay, to protect himself. Suppose when the man travel in this direction, when the man travel in this direction with a velocity Vm, then what is the direction of relative velocity of rain with respect to man? If the man travel in this direction, relative velocity of rain with respect to man, Vrm bar is equal to Vr bar minus Vm bar, no? So from this Vm bar is, sorry, relative velocity of rain with respect to man is equal to velocity of rain minus velocity of the man. Okay, here Vr bar is like this. Vm minus Vm bar means in opposite direction. This is minus Vm bar. So Vr bar plus minus Vm bar means this one, no? This is the relative velocity of rain with respect to man. Initially it makes an angle 30 degree with vertical. In this direction umbrella is hold. But how many times the velocity is to be increased? The question is by how many times that the person should increase the velocity to change the umbrella position from 30 degree to 60 degree with vertical. Suppose when the velocity becomes n times nvm, then the angle, the relative velocity with respect to man, the relative velocity of rain with respect to man changes further inclined, so that it is the relative velocity of rain with respect to man in second case, in which the angle made by this relative velocity with vertical is 60 degree. So this is 60. Then this is 30 only, no? This is 30. Okay. Here you see this magnitude is equal to Vm. Then what about this magnitude? Because this total magnitude is equal to nVm, in which you subtract Vm. Then remaining is n minus 1 into Vm, no? N minus 1 into Vm. Now this is the diagram. Okay, now you apply the Lami's principle. You apply the Lami's principle. Lami's principle or tangent rule, tangent value. Okay, direct we can do. Because they asked what they asked, by how many times, that's just n they asked. N they asked. Okay, now you take, you see, in this right angle triangle, tan 60 is equal to, tell me what is the value? Tan 60 is equal to, opposite means n into Vm, adjacent means Vr. Tan 30 is equal to, tan 30 in this right angle triangle, tan 30 is equal to Vm by Vr. Vm by Vr. Divide these two. This is equation 1. It is 2. 1 by 2 gives tan 60 by tan 30 is equal to n by Vm, n into Vm by R by Vm by Vr. So they cancel. So n will remainder. So n is equal to how much? N is equal to tan 60 root 3 by tan 30 means 1 by root 3. That is equal to 3 only, no? So n is equal to 3 you will get. That means when the velocity is made 3 times, yeah, answer is 3. When the velocity is made 3 times, then the relative angle made by the relative velocity with the vertical becomes double, increase from 30 to 60 degree. Okay, that is the answer. Okay. Now we have to do first problem in advance. Okay, I will do first problem because assignment problems are their important one. Okay, level 2 advanced first problem I will say, and after that we will do the assignment problems. Important problems are there. Next in level 2. In level 2, page number 115. In level 2, page number 115, problem number 1. A pilot flies due east from A to B. Due east, that means geographic directions are mentioned. That's why first you draw the geographic directions: north, south, east, west. A pilot flies due east from A to B. So from A to B, a pilot flies due east from A to B. The velocity of the aeroplane in still air is v, and velocity of air relative to the ground is u. So here velocity of the aeroplane in still air, that means velocity of the aeroplane with respect to air is given. Velocity of the flight with respect to air, v of a, that is equal to given as v. Velocity of the air with respect to ground means va, that is given as u. The distance between a and b, that means this one, that is l, that is l is given. Calculate the time for a round trip if air velocity is due east. Air velocity is due east, that means velocity of the air is in this direction, that is equal to u in this direction. Okay, now calculate the time for the round trip, they asked. You see, as the air is blowing in this direction, when on the flight, when the pilot travel from A to B, he travel downstream. Just you imagine this air as the river. When the pilot travel from A to B, that pilot travel in the direction of flow of the river only, no? Sorry, air only, no? That's why the pilot travel downstream. When pilot travel downstream, time taken to travel from A to B. A to B is say T1 downstream. From B to A upstream. That means when the pilot travel from B to A, he travel opposite to the direction of airflow. That's why upstream. Upstream time taken is say T2. Then what is the total time taken? Total time taken is equal to T1 plus T2. No, what is T1? T1 is downstream. Downstream means distance to be traveled from A to B is L by speed of the flight in this direction is. Speed of the flight means as air is in this direction, velocity of the flight with respect to air also in the same direction. That's why resultant velocity of the flight with respect to earth is equal to v of a plus va, plus T2 means L by upstream the flight travel. That's why v of a minus a. You substitute the data. L by v of a means v, plus va means u, plus L by v minus u. That is T, I think. Okay. So this is equal to, you take L common and take LCM. V square minus u square you will have. When you take LCM, then v minus u plus v plus u. That means 2v you will get, I think. 2v you will get. Okay. Calculate the time for the round trip if air velocity is due east. In still air, time for round trip is in still air. Okay, here we are given one condition. It is a T dash. It is T dash. In still air, time taken for round trip is T naught is given. Okay, we can write T only. In still air, that means whenever there is no air flow, time taken by the flight to travel from A to B and B to A, as there is no air flow, whatever the velocity of the flight with respect to air, with the same velocity, even it come back also. That's why total distance traveled 2L by velocity of the flight V of A. That is called 2L by V. V of A means V. Okay. So here it is given. Now in this, what about the T? Answer is given in terms of T naught. L is not there. You substitute. You see, this is equal to T is equal to L means we can write VT naught by 2. No. VT naught by 2 we can write VT naught by 2. Instead of L I have written into 2V by V square minus U square. So here you see 2 cancel. T naught you keep in the numerator only. Then V square you bring you write in the denominator. Then you will get V square minus U square by V square. Then simplification gives 1 minus U square by V square. This is the time taken. So when airflow is there, due east, then time taken by the flight to travel from A to B then back to A is equal to T naught by 1 minus U square by V square. Okay. Okay, Varshit Reddy. Varshit Reddy. Okay, right. Now in this, of course, some more problems are also there, but we had to do some assignment problems also because they are also important one. If possible, you do in page number 116, you do 9th problem. You note down the problems. In page number 116, you do 9th problem. Next 14th problem. 14, problem number 14. Next 15. 9, 14, 15. You do those problems. Okay, now we will see the assignment. Okay, now you see the assignment. Are you able to see the assignment or not? Is the assignment is visible to you or not? Okay, right. Now, I think in 1/12 problem, you see that 1/12 problem was completed, no? 1/12 problem already it is in our material also, and we have done that problem also, I think. Okay, next 115 you can do. Next 120 we have to do now. Okay, 120th problem, you see. 120th problem. Very, very important. Model is very, very important. Read the problem first. Assignment, in assignment problems. Assignment. Problem number 120. Two particles are simultaneously from the same point and move along two straight lines. One with a uniform velocity v and the other with uniform acceleration a. One with uniform velocity v and other with uniform acceleration a. If alpha is the angle between the two lines of motion of the two particles, then the least value of relative velocity will be dash. Here, two particles start simultaneously from the same point. From the same point, two particles travel. One particle travel in this direction, the other particle travel in this direction by making an angle, certain angle alpha between them. Okay, two particles start simultaneously from the same point move along two straight lines, one with uniform velocity v. Suppose the velocity of the one particle is say v, the other particle with uniform acceleration starts with uniform acceleration, means here initial velocity is 0 for this and travel with uniform acceleration. Initial velocity for this is 0, uniform acceleration is a. Okay, now if alpha is the angle between the lines of motion of the two particles, then least value of relative velocity will be at a time. So v relative least means minimum relative velocity is equal to question mark. If alpha be the angle between the two lines of motion of the two particles, then the least value of relative velocity will be at a time. Okay, after what time the relative velocity becomes minimum? That is the question they asked. After what time v relative is equal to minimum? After what time relative velocity is minimum? Okay, relative velocity of the first particle with respect to second particle you take. Relative velocity of the first particle with respect to second particle is equal to, what is the formula for magnitude? Of course, relative velocity of the first particle with respect to second means v1 bar minus v2 bar. Okay, as the angle between the two velocities are given, then what about v2? After t seconds, even after t seconds also, the velocity of the second particle becomes u plus at. So at only. But in case of first particle, velocity is v only after any time, because it travels with constant velocity. That's why magnitude of this velocity v12 is equal to square root of magnitude of this, modulus of this one means modulus of this one, that is equal to square root of v1 square plus v2 square minus 2 v1 v2 cos theta. Theta means angle between the two velocities is alpha, so cos alpha. Okay, now what about v1? V1 means v square plus v2 means at after time t seconds, so at whole square minus 2 into v2 means at into cos alpha. It is the relative velocity of 1 with respect to 2. After what time it is minimum? That means this relative velocity must be minimum. After what time? So how we can do? After what time relative velocity is minimum, they asked. V relative square, you write V relative square is equal to V square plus A square T square minus 2 VAT into cos alpha. Okay. After what time relative velocity minimum means we have to differentiate this relative velocity with respect to time and we have to make them equal to 0, no? Because for shortest distance or closest approach, first we have calculated the distance, yes, with respect to time we differentiated there. Okay, similarly here also relative velocity, this one after a time t seconds. To have the minimum relative velocity, we have to differentiate this with respect to time. Therefore, for V relative minimum, dV relative by dt is equal to 0 or d into V relative square by dt, that is also equal to 0, because that minimum relative velocity is fixed. That means that is a constant. Even you differentiate V relative or V relative square, as it is constant, you will get 0 only. That's why you differentiate this one. D by dt of V relative square is equal to d by dt of V square plus A square T square minus 2 VAT cos alpha. Okay. Now you differentiate them. First, when you differentiate V relative for minimum, for V relative minimum, this is 0. That's why you make them 0. 0 is equal to, now V is the constant velocity of the first particle. That's why when you differentiate them, you will get 0, no? Is the video is blur? Respond. This video is blur to everyone? No. Okay, okay. Rahul Ji, you check your system. Okay. Right. Okay, you differentiate V, as V is constant, when you differentiate them, it becomes 0 plus A square is constant, you keep aside. Differentiation of T square means 2T, no? Differentiation of T square with respect to time means 2 into T to the power 2 minus 1. Okay, that's why 2T minus 2VA, all are constant, cos alpha is also constant. So 2VA cos alpha into differentiation of T with respect to T means d by dt of T. That means dt by dt 1. Therefore 2VA cos alpha is equal to 2a square into t. Here 2 cancel. Okay, a square cancel. Then t is equal to how much? V cos alpha by a. So this is the time after which the relative velocity between the two particles, the relative speed or relative velocity, magnitude of relative velocity becomes minimum. So V cos alpha by A, that is the answer. Okay. So that is the second option, right? Next. So this is the answer. So we have calculated the relative velocity between the two particles, okay, by using this formula, and we differentiated that with respect to time and made them zero because relative velocity is to be minimum. That's why we differentiated relative velocity with respect to time. Then we made equal to zero. Then we got t is equal to something. So this is the time after which relative velocity between the two particles becomes minimum. Okay, next. One more problem. You see. Next, 122nd. A stone is to be projected horizontally from the top of a 1.7 meter high pole. Calculate the initial velocity of projection if it strikes perpendicularly an inclined plane as shown in the figure. Calculate the initial velocity of projection. That is the question. 122 problem number. Problem number 122. Here there is an inclined plane. There is an inclined plane of inclination alpha is equal to 37 degree. Here there is a tall pole. Here it is the pole having height h is equal to 1.7 meter. Okay. Now from the top of the pole, one body or a stone is projected horizontally with some velocity. Projected horizontally from the top of a 1.7 meter high pole. Calculate the initial velocity. Suppose it is projected with a velocity say u. That is how much? If it travel along the parabolic path like this and it strikes the inclined plane normally like this. So exactly at this point, when you draw the tangent, the direction of velocity is normal like this. This is the diagram. This is the situation there. If it strikes perpendicularly an inclined plane, then whatever the velocity of projection, u is how much? That is the question. Okay. You take this inclined plane as x-axis and perpendicular to inclined plane as y-axis. Okay. Now here, parallel to inclined plane, you draw a line here. Parallel to inclined plane, you draw a line. Perpendicular to inclined plane, you draw a line. Suppose, what is the angle here? What is the angle made if you are given like this? Tell me. Here it is perpendicular line, no? If it is 37, it is 53. So it is 37 because it is 90. It is 37. Then it is 53. It is 37. Then velocity component in this direction is equal to u cos 37. And in this direction, u sin 37. That means parallel to x-axis, velocity component is this one. Perpendicular to this x-axis means along y-axis, velocity is equal to u sin 37. This is the information known. Okay, now here you see along x-axis, initial velocity along x-axis is u cos 37, but before it makes collision, as it makes collision normally, along x-axis velocity is 0, no? Here, all of you look at the board. Here, whenever the particle is projected along this direction, their horizontal, their component along x-axis or parallel to this x-axis is equal to u cos 37. But whenever it makes collision, at that time it collides normally to the inclined plane means along x-axis velocity becomes 0, no? After this much displacement. Okay, now along x-axis you take along x-axis. What is the initial velocity along x-axis? In this direction, initially this particle is having velocity u cos 37. U cos 37. That is equal to u into 37 means 4 by 5 now. Therefore, 4u by 5. It is initial velocity along x-axis. Whenever it reaches the inclined plane, velocity along x-axis becomes 0 because it strikes normally the inclined plane. That's why final velocity along x-axis is 0. What is the acceleration? Acceleration A is equal to, you see, here the acceleration due to gravity always acts vertically downwards direction. Then if you resolve this into two components, one component is in this direction, another component is in this direction. Okay, this component of acceleration is z cos 37 and this component is z sin 37. Here initial velocity is parallel to x-axis in this direction, but acceleration component is opposite direction. That's why minus g sin 37. This is the information known. Next. Okay, now what is the relation among them? Initial velocity, okay, time taken is set t. Then what is the relation among them? From v is equal to u plus at. V means 0, u means 4u by 5. Okay, plus a means minus z sin 37 into t. So therefore 4u by 5 is equal to g into, g means 10 into sin 37 means 3 by 5 into t. 5 cancel. Okay, therefore t is equal to 4u by 30 or 2u by 15 we can write. 2u by 15 we can write. It is equation 1. So this is the time after it is projected. Then it reaches the inclined plane so that the velocity along x-axis becomes 0 or it strikes the inclined plane normally after this much time. Okay, now along y-axis. In the same time, whenever it reaches the inclined plane along y-axis, if time is given directly, we can find the value of u here only, but time is not given. Okay, now along y-axis, what is the initial velocity? Along y-axis, initial velocity component is downwards only. That's why initial velocity is u sin 37. That is equal to u into 3 by 5. So 3u by 5. Acceleration. Initial velocity along y-axis is downwards. Acceleration is also downwards. That's why a is positive. Plus z cos 37. That is equal to 10 into cos 37 means 4 by 5. No, that is equal to 8 meter per second square. Okay. Next, displacement. Before in a time t seconds, in a time t is equal to 2u by 15. It reaches the inclined plane. Because of that, along y-axis, what is the displacement of the body? When it travels from this point to this point, what is the displacement of the body along y-axis? That is equal to this one. This value is how much? This is the displacement. Yes. Here this total height is h. No. So this is equal to h cos 37. No. Because in this right angle triangle, here 90. If it is h, then their component in this direction is h cos 37. This is h sin 37. So vertical distance traveled along y-axis is equal to h cos 37. No. So here it is h cos 37 degree. Okay, now we substitute the data. What is the relation among them? From s is equal to ut plus half h square. No. S means h cos 37 is equal to u 3u by 5 into t means this one 2u by 15 plus half a means 8 into t square means this square 2u by 15 whole square. Now h means 1.7, cos 37 means 4 by 5 is equal to here 3 5s are, so therefore 2u square by 25 plus 2 4s are here. Okay, 4 4s are 16. 16 u square by 15, 15s are 225. No. Now you take LCM there. 225 is LCM. No. What is the LCM here? Okay, 25, 225. 25 9s are 225. 9 into 2, 18. So 18 u square plus 1 into 16 means 16 u square. that is equal to 34 u square by 225, no, that is equal to 17 by 10 into 4 by 5 we can write. 17 twos are, okay, 2 twos are 2 fives are, 5 5 25, 25 nines are, therefore 2 is equal to 2 u square by 9, 2 to cancel, implies u square is equal to 9 or u is equal to 3 meter per second. So the velocity of projection is 3 meter per second. That is the answer. Okay, that is the answer. You note down. Okay, shall I erase this one? Already we are having video. No, I will upload. Okay, right. So for these problems, you have to do practice. That means you have to do 1 or 2 times individually so that you can understand the concept and you can apply easily. Okay. Now, you see this problem. This is one different problem. 132 problem number. A particle is projected. 132 problem number. You read the problem. A particle is projected at an angle 60 degree with the speed 10 root 3 meter per second from a point A as shown in the figure. With a velocity 10 root 3 meter per second. At the same time, the wedge is made to move with a speed of 10 root 3 meter per second towards right. So wedge, here velocity of the particle is u1, velocity of the wedge is u2 is equal to 10 root 3 meter per second towards right. Then the time after which the particle will strike the wedge. The time after which the particle strikes the wedge. First of all, is the particle strikes the wedge or not, you have to say. Now you see here there is a wedge, that means triangular shaped frame is there. From the bottom of the triangular shaped frame, one body is projected with a velocity 10 root 3 meter per second by making an angle 60 degree with a horizontal. Angle of inclination is given 30. Now here this wedge is also moving towards right with a velocity 10 root 3 meter per second. So at the instant whenever it is moving with a velocity 10 root 3 meter per second, at the same instant from the bottom, here one particle is projected upwards by making an angle 60 degree with a horizontal with a velocity 10 root 3, same velocity. Will the particle strikes the inclined plane or not? First you tell me. Here along horizontal direction, whose velocity is more? Along horizontal direction. Suppose after some time, this here no doubt this particle travel along the parabolic path like this, no? The particle travel along the parabolic path and reaches the ground. Okay. Here along horizontal direction, in a given time t seconds, suppose in a given time t seconds, if the projectile reaches the point here, in a given time t seconds, if the projectile reaches the point here, in a time t seconds. Along horizontal direction, what is the distance traveled? Means this is the distance traveled now. Here, is the wedge travel the same distance along the horizontal direction, or is it travel more distance? If the wedge also travel the same distance in the same time, suppose in a t seconds, in a time t seconds, if the particle reaches the point here, then if the wedge is also having same velocity along horizontal direction as the particle, that also travel the same distance, so that wedge occupies the position like this. But is the wedge travel more distance or particle travel more distance? Here you see the horizontal component of velocity, velocity of this particle is equal to 10 root 3 cos 60. That means it is 5 root 3 only. For particle, horizontal velocity is 5 root 3 only. But this wedge is having 10 root 3 meter per second. That's why it travel more distance. So as it travel more, definitely it travel double the distance. Okay, that's why wedge comes to this position. After some time t seconds, definitely the wedge comes to this position like this and reaches the position after time t seconds. Because wedge travel more distance in this time, you see. Particle travel just from this point to this point only, but wedge travel more distance because velocity of the wedge along horizontal direction is 10 root 3, whereas the particle has only 5 root 3 meter per second. So when the particle travel like this, wedge travel like this, and particle just reaches the point here. From the wedge, if you observe the same situation, from the wedge, by standing on the wedge, if you observe the same particle, in which from the ground, if you see, from the earth or from the ground, if you see, the nature of motion of the wedge is along horizontal direction. Particle travel along the parabolic path and reaches the point here after time t seconds. It reaches the inclined plane after t seconds here. So suppose the same situation is observed with respect to wedge only. That means you project the particle here, and by standing in the wedge only, you see the particle. How it will be? So it is the situation with respect to earth. With respect to wedge, with respect to wedge means the relative velocity of the initial relative velocity of the particle with respect to wedge is equal to, as wedge travel in this direction and particle travel in this direction, they are having different velocities in different directions. That's why you write in vector form. Velocity of the particle with respect to wedge is equal to velocity of the particle minus velocity of the wedge. Velocity of the particle means you write in vector form. Their x component of velocity is 5 root 3. That is along positive x direction. That's phi cap. And y component of velocity is this one. So plus y component of velocity is 10 root 3 sine 60 into sine 60 j cap. It is velocity of the particle minus velocity of the wedge. That is along horizontal direction only. That's why 10 root 3 into I cap. Now 5 root 3 I cap plus here it is root 3 by 2, no? 2 5s are 5 into root 3 into root 3. 5 into 3 is 15. 15 j cap minus 10 root 3 I cap. Here already 5 root 3 I cap is there, minus 10 root 3 I cap. That means minus 5 root 3 I cap plus 15 j cap. So what is the direction of this relative velocity of the particle with respect to wedge? When you consider the relative velocity of the particle with respect to wedge, wedge can be imagined to be at rest. Wedge can be imagined to be at rest. It is 30 degree. Now, what is the direction of this velocity of the particle with respect to wedge? Minus x component is negative, y component is positive. So with x-axis, what is the angle made by this velocity? With x-axis, say tan theta or tan alpha. Tan alpha is equal to y by x. Y means 15 by x means minus 5 by, just to take magnitude, root 3. That is equal to root 3 now. So alpha is equal to 60 degree now. That means here x component negative, y component positive means x component negative in this direction, y component positive in this direction. That's why the relative velocity of the particle, initial relative velocity of the particle lies in this direction by making an angle 60 degree with horizontal, or with inclined plane it makes an angle 30 degree with inclined plane. This is the relative velocity. It is the relative velocity. So therefore the magnitude relative velocity vector, initial relative velocity vector is this one. Therefore what is the magnitude of relative velocity? U relative is equal to square root of this square plus this square, 5 root 3 whole square plus 15 square. that is equal to square root of, here what is the value you will get, that 75, here it is 225 now, it is 75, it is 225, that means 300, that means 10 root 3. 10 root 3 meter per second is the relative velocity with respect to wedge. So when relative velocity is considered, we can imagine the inclined plane is at rest, wedge is at rest. Okay, we'll complete. 4 seconds is there. Within 4 seconds, we'll complete. Okay, now you take relative velocity concept, you take. So here, you take this as x-axis and perpendicular to this one as y-axis. Okay, now what is the time taken, they asked. So with respect to wedge, it travel in this direction along the parabolic path and reaches the point here. Whatever the, you see, on inclined plane, whatever the distance traveled, this distance is also same on inclined plane. Here, whatever the distance traveled here, this distance is also same. How we can find this one? Distance traveled along this direction. How we can find? Time taken first you find. You see, relative velocity is in this direction. Their component along y-axis is equal to u relative into, as it is 30, it is u relative into sine 30. Along x-axis, u relative into cos 30. Acceleration. Acceleration of the particle is z in this direction. Along x-axis, along y-axis. If it is 30, this is 30. Then this component is z sine 30. And this component is z cos 30. I think you can do as usual. Okay. Now along y-axis, initial relative velocity along y-axis is equal to u relative into sine 30. U relative is 10 root 3, sine 30 1 by 2. That is called 5 root 3. A relative, as initial relative velocity component is vertically upwards. Okay, but acceleration is in downwards direction. So relative acceleration is equal to, acceleration acts on the particle is equal to minus z cos 30. That means minus 10 into cos 30 root 3 by 2. That is equal to minus 5 root 3. Displacement along y-axis. Whenever the particle reaches the point here, along y-axis displacement 0. After what time? T is equal to question mark. Okay, then from s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means 0, u means 5 root 3 into t plus half, a means minus 5 root 3 into t square. So 5 root 3 by 2 into t square is equal to 5 root 3 into t. T square cancel, 5 root 3 cancel. So t is equal to 2 seconds. So what is the, here they asked, only time they asked. What is the time after which? What is the time after which the particle reaches the inclined plane? That is the question they asked. That's why 2 seconds is the answer. What is the range on the inclined plane, they may ask. So same time, by taking this one along inclined plane, that means along x-axis, initial velocity is u relative into cos 30, acceleration minus g sin 30, and whenever it, after a time t is equal to 2 seconds, when it reaches the point here, the distance traveled along x-axis, s is equal to question mark. That is the distance we can find, which is the range along the inclined plane. In this way we have to do. Okay, in this assignment, already assignment is with you. In this assignment, what are the problems to be done? You note down 139, you note down 139, 140, 139, 140, next 150, 150, 151, 154. You note down all of you. 154, 156, most important problem. 173, 174, 175, 207, 235, 235, 38. 38 is very, very important problem. 38, 44, 44, 80. Next 80. Okay, you do these problems. Okay, you do these problems. Okay, Nana. Okay, now time is 10:41. Okay. I will conclude the class. Have a nice day. Take care of you. I'm signing out.